Okay, here we go, guys. We're going to be live in just a minute. I'm just waiting for Kristen to come on. I think we tested it earlier, so we should be able to see if you're joining. If you put comments, I'm going to try to catch them. So now we're just going to get started. I hope everybody has the link. So we'll see what's going on. Hey, guys, I see a couple people coming on. Hey, Tish. Okay, Kristen's here. And hey. So it says it's adding. Kristen, it says you declined it. Let's see. I'm trying it again. Hold on. There we go. Yay! We finally got it to work.
Holy sleep, it worked.
Oh, goodness. So, hey, everybody. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple people coming on. I hope you guys are also here. Kristen is a friend of mine, and she's also a medium. And we've been talking about a lot of the spiritual stuff lately, and it's kind of a funny story. So I want you guys to ask questions if you have any. And Kristen, I kind of want you to just lead off with that day we were talking and how this all started. It was quite a while ago.
Sure. And I'm going to go ahead into my cyber spa and add this, because did people see it in the cyber spa? Where did you guys see it in mine?
Well, I don't know. I know I put it on my personal page and in the event, and we're technically going live from the event, but it's also public. So I do see some people on. Hey, Courtney.
Oh, yeah, my Tara's coming, my Doreen's coming.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll just see how it goes there.
Okay, Dana's
so
here.
Hopefully people can see.
Yeah. So I think we're good. If you're on, I don't have my computer open, but if you have yours open, if you want to share it, you can do that.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Awesome sauce.
Well.
Yeah, so go ahead and start. I'll let you start because it's so funny. Hey, Tara.
Hey, Tara. Love you, sweetheart. Tara, it's good to see you. So Tara's going into surgery tomorrow for her for her arms. We have to love and light. Yep.
Okay.
She's another medium friend of mine. So.
All right, girly, we got you.
So all right. So Jennifer and I met. Gosh, it's been a couple years ago, but it seems like forever. Oh, Shirley. It seems like it's been forever, and you know, she's a friend of mine, but she's also kind of like a mentor of mine too. And I was talking to her one day about, oh, this is awful. And she goes, yeah, you know what, this sucks. And I'm like, really? Like, you're a spiritual person, you're saying this sucks? You're not all, oh, wow, so wonderful. Oh, when things are falling apart, they're falling together. Oh, no, sometimes you just have to be with saying, you know what, right now, this sucks. This sucks. Because what I was doing was I was pushing it away, like, I don't want to feel, and I was just pushing it down. So sometimes you just have to be okay with embracing, you know what, right now, this time in my life, or this period in my life, or what happened, whatever, just sucks.
So I love that. So here's the thing, we're in, hey, Andrea, yes, we love Moby, and we didn't change his name. So for you guys, we bought a new truck, and it was already named Moby, and it's a huge, big white dually, and so we kept the name. So yeah, it's awesome. We love it. Hey, Cindy, I'm glad you're here. We were actually talking about this on my group as well, about how sometimes things just suck, and how what started this whole thing with Kristen and I doing a live was a friend of mine posted something the other day, and it was the same thing, like in the spiritual community especially. And I don't know who else on. I've seen a few people that I recognize, and when you're in that spiritual journey and you're like, you hear, oh, you're going through. Yeah, I know Melissa's never been afraid to say that it sucks. But there's a lot of people in the spiritual community, especially, that are like, oh, things are falling apart so that they can fall together. We hear that kind of stuff. Or oh, this is just part of your process. Or what's some of the other things, Kristen, that you hear that are kind of like...
Well, it's like, okay, what's your lesson in this? What are you supposed to learn from it? And, and really, that can come later. But right now, you just need someone to say, okay, this is really a bad time. And you're not going to be in a good space to learn a lesson from it, take what you need to know. What does your soul need to know? Yeah, when things are falling apart, they're falling together, all is well. And
all of those things just really drive me crazy. And I think that's where you and I connected so much, and where we decided to do this is you can't just deny what's going on, and you can't just hide the feelings, and you can't just, I mean, yes, of course it's always spiritual, and yes, of course it's always a lesson, and of course we can go there. But I feel like sometimes we're just human, and sometimes days are just sucky, and that's it. And that's okay. Like,
Right.
but the biggest thing that I noticed the other day with that comment on my friend's thing was, it was almost like they were saying, don't feel how you feel. And that is what really made me
Right.
so mad, because our emotions are actually, you know, our emotions are really a guidance system for us. They're kind of a gauge.
Indicators.
Yeah, it's a gauge saying, you know, this is what's going on. So really quick, before we go any further, I just wanted to tell you congratulations on the whole James von Praagh thing. Like, to get a shout out on his, I mean, that was so awesome. So I don't want to forget that, and it just popped in my head again. So I just wanted to tell you again, congratulations on that. So for those of you that don't know, Kristen's a medium, and she just got a huge shout out from James von Praagh the other day. So I was like, sweet, that's my friend right there. That's doing that.
He's awesome. And then my friend Tara on here was in mediumship too with me too, and she's amazing.
Yay.
So thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So
you.
anyway, so Vanna's saying, what a great topic. So I guess that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today, is like, how do you deal with feelings, and how do we look at it not only from the human regular, like what we learn about our emotions and stuff, but how do we bring it also spiritual, but how do you honor right where you are?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So, do you want to, the way I do it?
Sure.
Okay, so I've really been learning a lot about myself, and that's what I've heard is like when you really decide to do mediumship work, because I didn't realize I was a medium until about 6.5 years ago, and that's when the healing really starts, and that's when I really started working on myself. And I'm learning that, like you mentioned, my emotions are our guidance system. And I have certain emotions in my body, in my soul, and ethers and whatever that really have helped keep me safe over the years.
Right.
So I've had, like, anger. I mean, anger will keep people away. That bitchiness, if you want to say that for a female or whatever, that's probably not a nice thing to say.
Yeah, that's right.
But, that anger has kept me safe. Fear has kept me safe. Panic, anxiety has kept me safe over the years. So it's also absorbed emotions that I've taken on from other people. So I'm learning to discern what's my stuff and what's somebody else's stuff. So emotions are an indicator of what's kept me safe over the years, or what are some things that I need to work on. But when you're in the middle of that, because some days, you guys, I see a fire and I'm like, ooh, gasoline. I want to light a fire over there. I want to put gasoline and acid and burn it down. And so, I mean, to me, it's just a real indicator of what I need to work on. And sometimes I have to catch myself going, okay, that's interesting. Why did I react in such a whole totally crazy negative way? I need to work on that later. But then I just allow myself to feel my way through it, and then to really work on what is that root issue. And sometimes it's just an awareness, but sometimes it takes something deeper to kind of work through it.
Right, right. So the one thing that I really, I resonate with that a lot. The other thing that I see a lot of times, and especially like with the clients and stuff that I work with, we're awfully hard on ourselves, right? So when we're going through the spiritual journey, we're like, oh, we shouldn't be feeling this way. Like, I should be feeling like unicorns and roses and rainbows, and like, I shouldn't be doing this. And that is so hard, because we are still human. Yep. We are still processing everything. We're still going through whatever it is we're going through. So the thing is, like, the biggest thing that I tell people is, when you get that emotion come up, or when you do feel like, oh my God, this sucks, look at it and say, okay, what's going on? Where am I at?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and I always use the HALT thing. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Because if you are, that is not a place where you want to, like, gauge yourself or try to learn a damn lesson. Like, you don't want to learn a lesson if you're in that space. So what I'll tell people is, like, look at what's going on. Take a minute. If you feel yourself getting in that rabbit hole, like, stop for a second and just stop and just take a deep breath. Right? So I talk a lot about the nasty little mean girl. Is the nasty little mean girl in your head adding to this, right? Is it making it more than it really needs to be? And then when you find out, like, okay, I'm really upset, what do I need right now? Sometimes you just need a friend to say, you know what, you're right, it sucks. Right? Because in that space that day, like, telling you, oh, this is all, falling into place, or, oh, this is a spiritual lesson, that would not have done you any good. Granted, later it did, but in that moment, that's not what you need to hear. So sometimes when somebody's in that space, you just need to hear that it's okay, right? It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
feel how you feel. Then you
Right.
can look later and process
Sometimes,
it.
right. I know I wrote a blog and did a video about anger, the great distractor,
Mm.
where it will distract you from hurt. It will distract you from everything
Mm-hmm.
because it puts the focus on the other person. That it really gives away your power to the other person.
Right, right.
But it's like, at that point in time, it's like, you can't be I hate to use the word rational, but sometimes you kind of have to give that anger its own voice and its own energy to kind of like let it out. I do that like a lot of writing,
Mm-hmm.
but oftentimes it distracts from what the actual problem is.
Mm.
Talked to a friend of mine who's likely going to be leaving her job, and she's feeling a lot of anger, and it's probably a lot of grief.
Mm-hmm. Very well could be.
So is it grief, or what is it? But again, that anger has kept us safe because it's kept our emotions at an arm's length distance.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the great thing to go about there too is, and this gets into the spiritual side, right? If you're feeling that, there's something behind it that's fear. No matter what, if it's a negative emotion, somewhere deep down, there's a fear. So if you want to get
Right.
into that space of, okay, what's going on with me? What am I really looking at here? What am I processing? What's going on? Don't do it from the space when you're right there where it sucks. Like, give yourself a minute to just say it
Right.
sucks. You know what I mean? Like, be okay with that. Feel your feelings, understand them. Then when you're in a place where you can deal with it, come back, right? Like, don't stay there too long. Don't be in that place of misery too long, but allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and don't deny your feelings.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing that I want to get across is when we deny our feelings, then we don't ever really resolve anything. And if something's coming up, you do need to have it. Like, for example, Abraham Hicks, I love listening to them because it's all positive. It's all about changing your mindset. But the only thing is, like, that's great for a time. But at some point you do have, like, you can use that just to switch yourself out of that, anger, or out of the frustration or whatever. But at some point you do need to come back and look at what was really going on that made you that way, that made you angry or made you frustrated or made you whatever. But don't do it right in the middle of it. Give yourself a minute, allow yourself to change out of it.
Yep.
I see a lot of people coming on, and I see that, Renee, that you say, I need to trust. That's another thing. A lot of times if you're not trusting in something, there's a deep fear behind it. So if you really wanted to dig in, you could, you know what I mean? But be in that space where is this a spiritual lesson? Is this time for me to dig in? Is this the right time to look at it? Or is just a day that's going to be shitty and you just, sorry. And I forget we're live. Whoops. And you just have to go with it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing. Does anybody have any questions right now about what we're talking about? Because I would love to answer questions and do, like, part of the reason of going live is so that we could actually let you guys ask questions in the comments. I know, like,
There's Kevin and Cousin Carrie.
Yeah. And I know, like, from a spiritual perspective, there's some things that you can do when you're in that space that embrace the suck to me means allow yourself to be whatever it is. Like, if it's a bad day, like, allow yourself to be okay with having a bad day. And then how do you nurture yourself out of it? So if you're really having a bad day, what can you do to nurture yourself? Do you need to go get, like, a Starbucks? Do you need to take a bath? Do you need to diffuse some oils? Do you need to use some sage to kind of do some clearing? Like, what is something that you can physically do to make you feel like you're doing something about the situation? Because being human, we're not very good at just being, right? We like to be doing. So how can you be doing something that's going to help you?
Right. And then, like running your energy, doing some breathing, getting the energy moving from the earth and the heavens. And I know a lot of us in James's class have been taught that. And, I'm learning just to kind of allow myself to feel. And I'm like, I sometimes give myself a timeline. Okay, I'm going to give myself half an hour to feel this, and then I'm going to be done with it and figure out what the heck's going on. Mm-hmm. So it's really kind of taking control of myself, because I think the initial reaction is that you have the thought, and then you have the secondary reaction to it. Oh, I'm so pissed off at that bleeping person. I want to bleep and, smother him. Oh, I'm so awful. I shouldn't think that way. And then you beat yourself up again. So you're having that initial feeling and that initial thought, and then you feel bad about that, and then it gets twice as bad.
Yeah, because then you go into the I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't say that.
Right.
and it's back to that
Right.
denying what you are feeling. Yeah. So,
Right.
I think I was hoping everybody would be asking questions. I see people are watching. If anybody's brave enough to talk about it and see what you need to do. When we say embrace the suck, I would love to know like what caught your eye on that and why you wanted to join. Because this guy, I mean, that's like a big thing. Like, why would you want to join that? So I really want to know what everybody thought when they saw
Well,
that.
I got family, and they're all kind of out there like I am, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they have to say about that.
Yeah. Unless, I don't know if my comments, are you still seeing comments on your end?
I'm seeing people are watching.
Okay, because I'm like, I saw comments for a little bit and now I'm not seeing anything. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But um, so we could dive into this in such a different way. I want to kind of go into the spiritual side of it now. When things are sucking,
Yep.
like
Seriously.
let's go there. And it's so great to have the spiritual community and it's so great to do that. But I have all of these, like I have a lot of friends who are in the space that it's all roses and rainbows and unicorns and I'm seeing something. Okay. So when you get in that space, like it makes it hard to break through, which actually is perfect because it is going to go right into this comment. So Van's saying that sometimes suck makes me feel stuck. So there's a few blocks around that. So how do I break through? So Van, that's when you go, okay, this suck is really like, it's not a suck. This is something where I'm blocking myself or I'm stuck somewhere or something along those lines. Does that make sense? Like, give me a thumbs up if that's what you mean by that. I think that's what she's saying, is when you're like, oh my God, what do I do next kind of thing. Is that, Van,
Yeah,
is that where
it's
you're
really
at?
kind of yeah,
Okay.
it may take a little bit to keep up, but like what I'm feeling from her is, I feel like when it sucks, I just can't get out of it. That I feel like she's like up to her chest in quicksand.
Okay.
You just kind of get stuck. How do I start moving again and moving forward again and not really going down in a spiral?
Okay. So
Okay.
Van, here's what I would do. I'll tell you what I would do and then we'll let Kristen kind of go in on that too. I would say at that point, if you want to be in a space where, you know what, this is just the way it is, just kind of be like, oh, well, this is it today. And what can I do to take care of myself? Okay. Now, if you're in a space where it's okay to say, I really realize that this is something that I'm stuck. How do I move forward? Okay. You would say, what am I resisting? Because if you're stuck, that means you're keeping yourself, you're resisting something. So what are you resisting? And then as you dig into that and ask them, so there's a game I like to play called Why. So if you're resisting this, why? This is like a 5-year-old. Why? Well, why? Well, why? And some of my clients will be like, oh my God, if you say why again, I'm going to whop you on the head. I get it. But I'm telling you, the why
That's a
game,
good mentor, by the way.
yeah, the why game works so good because, and the reason is because what I'll tell them to do if I'm working with a client is say, don't like think through this. I just want to say why. Like as soon as I say why, you answer the first thing that comes up, because that time, if you do it quick, you don't have time to analyze it. And it's a very, very good way to get to the root of it. So like you can do tapping sometimes if you like EFT, tapping is really good. But the biggest thing is if you're in that feeling where you feel like you're stuck in quicksand, you can't move forward, there's definitely resistance there. So it's a matter of finding out what the resistance is, what the fear is behind it, and then do the things that you know that will help you lift your vibration. You know, music, food. I'm hearing that. Do you guys hear something in the background? I don't know what it is. So look at all of those things. Can I spritz myself with like essential oil? Peppermint is one of the quickest ways to shift yourself into a higher vibration. Sage always works. I love sage. Meditation, prayer, anything like that will help. So, and then if you need somebody, like reach out and say, hey, I need, this is where life coaching and mediums and all of us come into play, because Kristen's like a medium, but she's also really, really good at helping with the life stuff. Like that's part of what the spiritual work that we do is on purpose to help you move forward in life. It's not, the biggest thing that I've been trying to tell everybody lately is we've got to get to the place where we're a whole being. So we've got to know that we're both human and spiritual at the same time and bringing that together.
Yep.
She's saying, check my earphones. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine,
Okay.
but maybe something's on
Well,
there.
I'm hearing like a background, but I don't know what it is. So, okay.
Well, some things that I do, like when I get in that situation, it's like sometimes I'll have like I feel like my head is going to evaporate and go down my spinal cord into the floor. I'm like, okay, I need to like physically step away. I'll step away from my computer. I get some oxygen into myself, take a deep breath, relax, and then I'm like, okay, what am I really feeling? Be honest with myself. If I'm feeling angry, I acknowledge, okay, you know what, I'm feeling really angry right now. I'm feeling jealous. I'm feeling spiteful. I'm feeling, ABC. And then once I get into a spot where, and even like when I'm like really like in a bad spot, I just start writing, and I connect that energy within my body, and it doesn't have to go to my head. And I know my friend Tammy's on here saying sometimes it's hard to get out of your head. Absolutely. And that's when you need to like consciously like, I am shutting the door to the outside world right now. And I'll talk to you about boundaries. But I'll just kind of like, I'm shutting things off right now. I go and grab my paper. I have to eat my own dog food. And I give that energy in my body a voice by just starting writing. And I write the most horrible, spiteful things. But this is just old stuff that I've absorbed over the years. So that really helps me kind of just, get things out and just start writing. And then I tear it up, burn it up, bring it outside and let it go, and then fill myself up with, love and light. I also ask God to bring in Archangel Michael to surround me with his blue light, and he's to help me maintain boundaries, because I think it's so important. If you're tuning into this means that you're probably a pretty sensitive person.
Empathic,
so it's important
or
to,
yeah.
yeah, like set those boundaries. It's really all about your intent. So I ask Archangel Michael to come in, surround me with his blue light to help me maintain energetic boundaries throughout the day. And anything that's in my boundaries that's not mine, I'm giving it back, sending it away.
So,
and one
go ahead.
And one thing I oftentimes ask my clients is, let's just sit and let's just feel it together. Let's feel this energy, feel this emotion together. And I say, I want you to tell me how old this energy feels. How old does it feel? And oftentimes you'll get, well, I don't know. Tell me right now. I really feel it. How old does it feel? It feels 7. And sometimes, I'll sort of know like how old the energy feels, just like you do too.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes it feels like I'm 7, and it feels like when I had one client say, or one friend of mine say, it feels just like when my sister would take my bleeping dolls from me. So it's old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's that old junk. And once you write it out, it gets better.
Well, and
so go ahead.
especially right now. So I have 2 things. So especially the energy right now, because we are being called. So this is where the spiritual side comes in again, right? We're being called to move higher into vibration. We're being called into ascension. So and that word seems like it's so weird. All it means is tuning into a higher vibration. That's it. Like, it's that simple.
Right.
So that's changing a little bit. And so we are being called to literally kind of shake out some of the old junk. So that totally
Right.
makes sense. The other thing that I was going to say, and especially Van, I think, can you give me a thumbs up if you're still on? Because I really think what would benefit for you, and probably a lot of people on this call, one of the first things that I usually teach my clients is to ask, is this mine? Because when you are
Right.
empathic, or when you are sensitive, or when you have any kind of gift, for the longest time, I thought this was such a curse. I did not think this was a gift. I thought it was a curse. I tried to hide from it. I tried to ask God to take it away, all of those things.
Yep.
When I finally figured out that it's not a curse, it's actually a gift. But you do have to learn how to work with it. You have to learn how to have those boundaries, because otherwise you will go crazy wondering, like, half the time I'll be feeling something and I'll be like, wait a minute, is this mine? And so,
Yep.
yeah. So Van, she just said, I forget to ask. So start making that a huge practice of, is this mine? Because if you hear no, you can simply just let it go. Like, and
Yep.
one of the best ways to know if you're empathic is if you can't stand going into the mall, or if you can't stand going into Walmart or something like that, like, you will know, because like, you could be having the best day ever and you walk into Walmart and you walk out pissed off and you don't even know why. It's because probably half the people in there were pissed off, and you just feel it.
Yep.
Right. So
Or like be or place where there's like a lot of emotion. Yeah.
yeah, anywhere like that. So you know, it's so funny because I'm all for Walmart. If you, I kind of laugh, I'm like, I'm not promoting them or anything. I don't think they're the greatest company, whatever. But growing up where I grew up, it was one of the closest stores, and if you couldn't find it there, you probably didn't need it. You know what I mean? But I also know to put on my armor before I go in. You know, and then
Right.
I
Yep,
literally, as I walk
exactly.
out, I'm like, okay, shake it off, because you don't want to hold
Hmm.
on to the energy that's not yours.
Yep. And I think you bring up a good point. It's like, oftentimes we're being told, don't feel that way, don't feel that way, don't be angry, don't be this.
Yeah.
And we just end up not being able, that's like we don't know how to handle our emotions. And I think it's okay to be sensitive. And like I grew up that way too. It's like, oh, I'm just too sensitive. I'm just too sensitive. I have to change. I have to toughen up. That's who I am. And my sensitivity is my biggest gift. And being sensitive can help people in their home life, in their work life, everywhere. Once you can be that authentic person at home and at work, it's amazing how much easier you can just slide through life, and there's not as much resistance. But it's finding that authenticity, that aligning your soul to your mind, to your body, everything, where you can be the same person, where you're not putting up, oh, I have to act this way around a certain person, this way around another certain person. That's one thing I did too, and I'm sure you did too, Jan, before you knew. You would act differently around different people to appease them so you could help keep the peace.
I'm not sure if I did. I think I've always been, okay, I'm double Capricorn. So I'm like, no, this is the way it goes. Like, this is the rules.
Okay.
Do you know
Not
what I mean?
me, not me.
I'm totally double Capricorn. So I'm like, no, we're not playing that game. So, and I mean, I do understand, like, I will keep my mouth shut around certain people. So yes,
Right.
sometimes I did.
Right.
Probably, I know that you're a little bit more, well, we're different signs. We'll just put it that way. I'm double Capricorn, so I'm pretty hard-headed and pretty much, nope, this is the rules and this
Yeah.
is the way it goes. So,
Right. But it was like unknowingly, I was like almost like absorbing like their personality and kind of acting like them
yeah,
because it
that can
felt like the
happen.
right thing to do.
Yeah, that can
Yes.
happen. And especially if you're empathic. Like, I know I know when I'm around certain people, I just feel drained because it's so hard to keep your own energy up when you're around certain people. So that's
Hmm.
also a good sign too, to say, to do that. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I wish I could say I did that, but I was a little bit more hard-headed.
You were so funny. You were just like,
I'm like, oh, nope, I'm a little bit more mean than that.
but it's exhausting. So it sounds like Melissa does
Yeah.
that sometimes
So,
too. Yeah,
and I
I
love
like I
how,
like to blend with people.
yeah, how Andrea is saying she works at home in the quiet by herself for a reason. I'm like, I totally get that too. Like, sometimes it's just easier. Um, but the thing is too, I really feel like we needed to do this video on purpose today. Like, we need to talk about this because I'm trying to get clear on what they're actually trying to tell me, because I've got the angels have been around me so much today, like so deep and so clear, and it's almost like they're really wanting us to learn how to be whole, in the fact that learn how to be that we're human and spiritual at the same time. Learn how to blend that together and learn how to balance it. Like, that word has been coming
Right.
up a lot today. Like, in the Essentials membership group, we were talking about that a lot today, about how balance is actually like, it's a verb. You have to balance. Like, you have to be in a space of, it's okay to have a little bit of a sucky time sometimes. It's not the end of the world. Like, things aren't always going to go as planned. And then how do you deal with it? Right? How do you
Yep.
keep that voice from not like building on each other and going down the rabbit hole? I really was hoping to have my book finished by now, right? My next book. This whole week,
Number 3 or 4 or 5.
number 3. The
Oh,
ebook, I don't count that. There's 2 ebooks. I don't count those. They're just little. The thing is, like, this week my daughter was sick, and I just basically kind of put all my work to the side, anything that I could, because this is what's more important. I did feel myself getting a little bit frustrated, like, oh my God, I wish she would be better by now so that I could get back to work. But today I had to catch myself because I started getting cranky, and I'm like, why am I getting cranky? And I'm like, you know what? It's really not that big of a deal. Like if it doesn't happen until
Right.
next week, it's going to be okay. That's where the programming and the things that we've learned and the things that we picked up and how we've been taught and trained as we were little, like you got to hurry up and you got to be busy and you got to do this now and you know, you've got to work and you gotta. You should.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what the angels are trying to ask us to do. And I think today was kind of that just peaceful, flat kind of, you know, a lot of people today felt just kind of like flat is the best word I can come up with. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing that sound again. I don't know if it's just maybe I need new headphones. Um,
Yeah, I think you do.
yeah. So is everybody else
Mm-hmm.
hearing it or is it just me? Because if it's just me, that'll be better. Just
I
me?
think it's just you.
Okay, good. But so anyway, like
It's just the ringing in your head.
yeah, it's just my own stuff in my head. But I do feel like the angels are wanting us to understand that they are here for us, they're supporting us, they're they're embracing us, they're trying to help us learn, and they're asking us to step into a new place of vulnerability to where we can be whole and we can be spiritual and we can be
Yep.
human all at the same time.
Yep. Yep. It looks like some people are hearing it on their
Yeah,
end.
it
Sorry about
does.
that.
It sounds like
Sorry.
I don't think it's my
Next time.
headphones, but we'll see. It'll be okay. So, what do you have any messages today? Does anybody want a message today? And Kristen, what do you have? Like, do you have a message today? I'm trying to see what time it is.
Don't feel like you have the right to answer this right now. So I have a question on this sort of topic. I have a good friend who shares readings with me but can't really articulate. And Merlin. Oh. Andrea.
So Andrea, do you want me to just be frank with you? Like, can I just say it out here? If you give me a thumbs up or something, if you want me to just give you the message, otherwise I'll give it to you privately.
So I'll go ahead
So,
while you're waiting for that. Okay,
okay.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
For Jen, I'm feeling focus. I'm feeling like you have eyes in the back of your head, and I'm feeling that you're being told to kind of put your eyes towards the front and not be so scattered and really get yourself focused to the front of you.
Jen, does that make sense? Because I know exactly what she's talking about with that. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay,
Okay.
Andrea said go for it. So I'm going to tell Andrea, I'm not going to lie. The first time I met you, like I knew that you were intuitive as well. And those colors and things that you see, you've actually got a lot of fairy and fairy energy and magical energy and things like that. So don't be afraid of that. And I know it sounds so crazy to say, like, even I sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm talking to fairies. And I'm like, oh my God, if I said this in public, people would think I was crazy. But there really are. They're like the angels. They're a different vibration. They are not the same as angels. They're a different. But yeah, there is definitely angels. Well, definitely like fairies and things like that around you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the energy that you're feeling, and that's what she's seeing. And sometimes, like certain people see things different way. Like I'll actually see them like as if it's almost like on TV. So like what a fairy would look like, depending on them and their personality, they're just like us. They look like what you would think they would look like. But certain people, depending on how they see, might just see colors and might just see orbs and whatever. Like we all see things differently. She's sensing exactly what I see. So yeah, she's right. And I knew that from the day, like the day that we went to go meet you guys, I knew right away. So, but it's not my place to
Okay.
tell people that unless they ask me. Like I don't go up to somebody and say, oh, you're psychic, or oh, you're empathic, or oh, you're sensitive, because they need to figure that out for themselves and feel that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The next one is Melissa. Now, Melissa's a friend of yours, right?
Yeah.
So Melissa, with you, I feel it's going to sound very cliche, but a lot of self-love. I feel like my heart is really, if I was there, I would give you a hug. It feels like you're going through a lot of grief right now. My heart feels very sad. I feel kind of emotional myself. And it's really to put up a mirror and see yourself as other people see you, because you're just a beautiful soul, I can just tell. And you really, it's okay to love yourself a bit more. Because to me it feels like you're really kind of lacking that, and really feeling alone right now. So that's my psychic intuition that I was picking up with you, and you deserve a lot better, is all I'm getting.
Yeah, and
Does that make
she's had a rough week. She's had sick kiddos they've been just like passing it around, so she's exhausted right now. So yeah, that
okay?
totally, from my perspective, we'll see if she answers down. Oh yeah, she said thank you. Okay, Andrea says thank you. Yes. So Andrea, if you want, connect with me
Okay.
and we can talk about it a little bit more. We were supposed to go to coffee anyway, so give me a holler and we'll do that.
No,
Let's see. Cindy and Becky
Cindy.
both said too.
Okay, so do you want to take Becky? She's one of my girlfriends, and
Okay.
I would love for you to have. Okay.
All right. So Becky, is there anything particular that you're wanting clarity on? Melissa says, oh, I needed that.
Oh, good. And Cindy, while she's going, Cindy, just have more fun. Have more fun. Go out there, play, have some fun, because I'm feeling that you're taking life a little bit too seriously right now. Go out there and play and have some fun and just lighten up and just, you know what? I'm still a kid at heart. You are not too old. I'm feeling she thinks she's too old. You're not too old. You're just beautiful. And so just kind of, just have more fun and play is what I'm feeling.
Cindy, did you get a color book yet? I really would like that if you would get, I think we've talked about that before. A color book. Okay, Becky says, so Cindy, comment when you get a minute on if you've got a color book or not. I think that would help you get into that playful side that Kristen's talking about. So Becky, this is always hard because I don't know where to go with this. She doesn't really have anything particular she wants information on, but is she intuitive as well? Does she know that? Is that something we can speak freely about? Okay, because I'm like,
I'm sure we can. Becky's awesome. She's amazing.
okay,
Yeah.
Vicki, give me a thumbs up if you're okay with me talking about this, because that's kind of what I feel like the angels are saying. She can tap into this if she wants to, but I'm not sure where you're at with it or what you feel about it. So if you would either comment or give me a thumbs up. Okay, so that resonates with you. I think the biggest thing for you to do is trust it and don't be afraid of it. So you've got into your gifts are going to look different maybe than everybody else's, but you're going to have to trust that. So whatever that means for you, like we could go into this a lot. I don't want to get too personal on a public platform, but you do need to accept that you're intuitive and figure out what fears are holding you back from embracing that. So Becky, if you want, you can message me later and we can talk about it a little bit more. I don't want to get too personal on a public thing. So,
Yeah.
but you are intuitive, so hopefully that resonates with you, and we can go from there. Cindy, go buy a color book. They have them at the dollar store. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you would chat with Becky, I think that would be great.
okay.
She's just a sweet person. And then my next one is Tara, and I'm super close to her, so I'd love for you to get what you get on Tara.
Okay, and then we need to make sure we don't skip Renee, because she's in there too. Do you want to do Renee first?
Where's Renee?
It says check in Renee, but I'm pretty sure it's Renee that's on, I'm assuming. And then Tara, is there anything particular that you want a message with?
With Renee, I'm feeling all of a sudden my stomach kind of got fearful, and I'm feeling it in my solar plexus, Renee. It's almost like you're really afraid of something, and it's like the block in front of you is more just like one block. It's not like a whole block of a wall. But I'm feeling a lot of fear that could just get evaporated if you just move that block in front of you. It's not a whole brick wall. It's just like one block in front of you. But I'm feeling fear and anxiety, and things are going to, it's so cliche, but I mean, it's all going to work out and just evaporate if you just kind of move that small obstacle out of your way.
Okay, so Tara, that's funny that so I was asking Tara if she wanted anything, and while you were talking, I'm hearing, why are you holding back?
She
So,
can handle anything.
and she just said, her question is, what do I need to do, like, going forward in my mediumship? Like, like, you're holding, I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to get clear on what it is. Um, but I feel like you're holding yourself back somehow. So I don't know if that's a fear in the way. We've been talking a lot about this. See, this fear, this is why we needed to talk about this, because we need to talk about the
Yeah.
emotions, because really the emotions are what's holding everybody back. So,
Mm-hmm.
so Tara, is there
So
anything
like,
that you know that's holding you back, or like, is there something you feel like you don't understand or you don't know what to do next? I almost feel like it's more like business for you. Would that make sense? And Renee, I don't
and
want
so,
to
so,
interrupt on the reading you got from Kristen, but this comes back to that trust thing.
yep. Yep. I'm feeling, oh, so she's the one who got the trust. So I'm feeling writing it out and being very, very honest with yourself without judging yourself. Because I'll be very honest, I have an accountability problem. I am not accountable. I don't put in the work. I don't practice. So there's a reason why I'm not moving into mediumship work full time. And I know that I have to be accountable, but I can say that without beating myself up. So it's almost like looking at yourself. It's like there's a fear of excelling, a fear of it's almost like a fear of success, Renee. Fear of the mediumship 2 class, Renee. Surely I got your back.
So I kind of want to go back to Tara, but I don't know if she's still on. Because I wanted to ask her if that resonates.
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so that'd be the thing, is you want to begin full time, but what are you scared of, right? So is it a fear that you don't know how to do things online, or you don't know how to set up your business, or you don't know, like, what is it that's coming up with that? And I mean, we could break this down a little bit more too, but if you can message, it looks like they're coming through okay. So
Yeah. Yeah, you got a thumbs up from her. I think it's a lot of change right now. If you don't mind me
no,
talking,
yeah, go ahead.
Tara.
Oh, okay.
Tara's going through. She's being super brave. I mean, she's being brave. She's moving to a better climate. She's a very, very talented medium, and it's just like you said, it's a business, and she's really, like she said, leaving her job of 12 years and is going to be doing this full time. So it's a huge leap of faith, but she inspires me.
Okay, so that's what I
I
had a
don't like the
feeling, is
business stuff
just
there.
want
You
to do
got
my
to do
work.
my work.
Dude, I am so with you. Like, I seriously, like, I literally want to shut down and melt down when we start talking about like marketing and SEO and all of this. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. So the best thing to do is literally just write it all out, figure out what you need to do, find a business coach or something that can help you with the basics. I can even help you with the basics on that kind of stuff. I have that kind of separate. I do more of a marketing and business consulting, where it's a 2-hour thing. I don't even have that on my website anymore, but I used to do that. So I can help you with that if that's something that you want. Like, the biggest thing is just get the basics set up, and then figure out, do you want this to be something that you're doing online, or is this something that you're going to do in person, or how it's going to look for you, right? So in the Embodied Grace community group that I have, there's a thing in there that asks the questions, and I use these questions for everything. It's in my book too. It's basic questions. What do you want? How are you going to know when you're going to get it? What are the details that you need to get there? Like, there's about 7 or 8 different questions that help you break down a goal so that you know what you need to do. So the biggest thing for you is going to be, what do you want it to look like? And then, is it going to be an online business? Is it going to be an in-person business? Are you going to do readings on the phone? Do you need a website? Do you not need a website? Like, all of those things are things that you can look at. Once you get clear on that, I feel like then it's going to take off, because that, to me, the business thing is what came up first that's holding you back. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And I know I had that too when I first started mentoring with Sunny. It's like you have to treat it like a business. So get QuickBooks, get all that kind of stuff set up. And
Yeah.
she's got this, and I'm so excited to see her flourish after she moves. And she's the one who's getting surgery tomorrow, so
Okay.
she'll do great.
Okay. So I was just going to say something and I got distracted. No,
Sorry.
it's okay. I'm like, I don't know what I was saying. I got distracted on it. Um, I don't know where I was going, but that's okay. I think, well, I think what I was going to say is I think we got everybody that asked specifically for
Yeah, we did.
a reading.
That was awesome.
So,
Thank you so much.
and I think we're actually almost like at 45 minutes or a little more. So we might go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. Because these lives I like to keep for about under an hour. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. If you have more questions, reach out. Both of us are on Facebook, and I'll post our links. Is that okay, Kristen, if I post both of our links?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, not a problem.
Awesome. And everybody
And
will do
I think I would like to.
Go ahead.
No, I had a delay here. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, I'll think about Tara in the morning, send some prayers out for her surgery to go smooth and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, please do that. And then I'm going to have her ping me when she gets done, and I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Yes,
but,
please.
You know, we have to be here to support each other. And what I love about Jen is when I'm having a bad day, she's there and she listens to me. She doesn't try to fix it for me. She doesn't try to, you know, tell me, well, you did this wrong or whatever. She's like, you know what? Tell me about it, sister. And I'll cry and I'll scream and I'll have like a bad day. Which is like, well, that sucks. Because the last thing you need to hear is, well, you know, you did this wrong, or, you know, way to mess that up, you know.
Yeah, well, and that goes both ways, right? Because the same thing, like that's why it's important to do things like this, to talk about it openly, to understand that everybody has those days, and it's good to have somebody that you can talk to about it. Know when you're just in a pity party and you need to, like, there's a fine line of, hey, it's okay, today sucks, let's have a glass of wine, versus, you know what, you've been in that pity party too long, like, straighten up your stuff.
I know.
And let's figure this
She
out.
will tell me that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yep. She will tell me, get accountable.
Yeah, and we have to do that for each other. Like, that's part of life, right? So it's okay to feel that way, just don't stay there too long. Right?
Right. Okay.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Love you all. We'll talk to you guys all soon.
Love you guys.
And maybe we'll try
Let's
to
do
this
it again.
Yeah, it was fun.
This is I like the mini readings. It's fun.
That
or
is
if
fun.
you guys have a topic to cover, let me know, because I know it's like when you're around somebody who I love so much, like Jen, we just bring out just the best in each other.
Yeah, no, I love doing stuff with you. It's so much fun. That's all right, Andrea. Call me later. We'll go to coffee soon. All right. Okay. We'll talk to you guys later. Everybody. Thank you, Kristen, for coming on.